listening to This Place by Oregon Humanities. Each week, we ask Oregonians around the state what it's like to live where they do. Today, we hear from Ruth Robinson in Paisley.
Paisley is like its own little country. Working here at the school, we have contact with pretty much every household through the kids. And I do think you learn a lot about the people around you by the way their kids are. And if I just was a stay-at-home mom or whatever, I wouldn't have that connection to my community that I do, because the kids mean so much to me that I'm more willing to give up my weekends, give up as much time as I can to make sure that they all have. It's not just about my kids, it's about everybody's kids. The international program's been going on for many years. The dormitory was built in 98, but there were actually kids, I guess, prior to that were exchange students. 98 was the first year that I really understood it. I was homeschooled, so I did not go to school at Paisley. But all of my friends, did. And so I had a lot of contact, but I still have friends from when I was school age that were here as foreign exchange students that we have kept in touch, because we developed those friendships. To me, when I was younger, this community was not very diverse. And not that everybody was racist, it was just the way that this was set up. It was farmers and ranchers, generational again. But those exchange students brought something to me as a teenager that I wouldn't have had otherwise. We didn't travel a lot. I came from a really big family. There were 6 kids. My mom was a stay-at-home mom. We were homeschooled. So we got to meet these kids from other countries and basically got to travel staying right here. And that was a big deal to me. It's always stuck with me, those friendships through the years. And now to see my own kids have these relationships with these kids from other countries, it brings so much to them. They will argue about stuff. They will debate stuff. But in the end, they realize we're all, it just brings this togetherness that I don't think most rural schools get that opportunity. When you drive from Summer Lake to Paisley, you drive around Summer Lake, and Summer Lake is a dead alkali lake, and a lot of times it's dry. Like right now it has some water in it, but a lot of times it's dry. You'll see the dust kind of blowing off the lake on windy days, which we have a fair amount of windy days. But there's also, when you're driving around the lake, if you're coming from Summer Lake to Paisley, on the left you will see this vast openness. The lake, if it's there, or the little, dust devils moving out there. But on the right, you'll see the mountains. And when I was a kid, those mountains were covered with trees. There's been some forest fires and a lot of them have burned up, but it's still green now. But if you really pay attention when you're driving, you'll realize that the mountains surround Summer Lake Valley. And then as you go into Paisley, you're kind of coming out of that valley into openness. But to me as a kid, and now as an adult, I see it as kind of those mountains are a little bit of a fortress kind of built around, just kind of protecting that area. You feel protected there. You feel safe there. You know everybody. You know everybody's car. When they drive by, you're like, oh, there's so-and-so. Oh, they got a new car. Whatever. But you know your neighbors, and you know that even if you have falling out with your neighbor or whatever, if things go sideways, they will still be there for you. And that is what drew me back here after leaving for 10 years. During those 10 years I was gone, we were just trying to get back here. That was our goal. And we finally found a way to get back here and have jobs and, raise our kids here, because I think it's a great place to raise kids because it is safe, but it also doesn't totally shelter them. They have this access to kind of the outer world and the exchange program and things like that help them understand what's going on around the world, and they're not totally sheltered, but they're safe. That being said, when I was a kid, I just wanted to get out, but that's a good thing. But then I wanted to come back. So, cause I felt like there was nothing ever to do. But then looking back now, I had so much to do. I had horses to ride, motorcycles to ride. I had friends. I had everything, honestly, that I needed growing up, and my kids are seeing the same thing.
That was Ruth Robinson in Paisley. You've been listening to This Place from Oregon Humanities.